So I watched Unrivaled tonight, and I have thoughts. What's going on, folks? This is Coach Marcus, Pro Fan Talk, and tonight was the debut of the Unrivaled Women's Basketball League. I watched both games. It was, the Owls and the Mist, and the second game was the Rose and the Vinyl. I'm not really going to get into the game, how the players were and who hit the shots. And, the Lunar Owls won the first game. Skylar Diggins-Smith hit a last-second three, I believe, for the win. And then the second game, the Vinyl outlasted the Rose. Vinyl had, I believe, a 16-point lead. The Rose battled back and then just had a little bit of sloppy play and kind of some questionable decisions towards the end of the game. But I'll get more in-depth into the game the more we get into it, because this was the first game. You got a lot of jitters and all of that type of stuff. So I'm looking at it from the perspective strictly from production. That's it. And again, I was not a big fan of the 3-on-3 at the WNBA All-Star game. I did not watch 3-on-3 at the Olympics. What little I did watch, I wasn't really interested in. I turned it on and then I turned it off. I was like, maybe this ain't for me. Because I'm following the WNBA and I'm following the players and all of that, I'm going to give it a legitimate shot. I'll give it a try. I'm going to give it a watch. My review tonight is strictly on production. My little nitpicks and things that I want to see different, or, my thoughts on how things went. The games were good. The first thing I thought about, and I wrote these notes down as they came to my head, right? The first thing I thought about was they should pipe in crowd noise. That's the first thing I thought of, because you're watching the game, and even with the expectations of the WNBA and just the atmosphere and the crowd, and I know it's smaller, I'm looking for that background crowd noise, white noise type. It's always there in the background, in the back of your head, and you hear it, and it just kind of fills up the atmosphere. And it makes you feel like you're at an event. Now, I know the venue was a lot smaller. They got the DJs and everything. And even the reverb from the announcers just sounded different. So that was just an observation that I had, maybe pipe in some crowd noise. But that's just me. The second thing is, we get it. They got new facilities. And I know they want to be excited on the broadcast and tell you everything that's new and shiny and blingy. But at some point I was like, all right, we get it. They got new facilities. I get it. You don't have to keep going over it again and again and again. They get a little bit overzealous, but I understand why they do that. And again, this is just my little nitpick. The next one was my brain thinking of concepts, strategies, like it's 5-on-5 basketball. And it's not. So I've got to get better at that as somebody that's watching the game, and I got to be able to put that to the side. This is not 5-on-5 basketball. So I got to retrain my brain on what my expectations are. Now, I know a couple of times I'm thinking like, there's some dead spots in this game. You had some back and forth where everybody's missing shots. It's definitely a lot more fast paced. That was very evident as some of the bigs in the games were struggling to get down the court. Angel Reese, Aaliyah Boston. I can't remember what the girl's name was in the first game for the Mist. It was a couple of players, big forwards, big centers, that were having trouble getting up and down the court because the pace is just going, and they not runners like that. And a couple times they had the tongue hanging out. So got to kind of retrain your brain. This ain't 5-on-5. This is 3-on-3. I thought it was, again, kind of going back to the commentary. I know, sometimes the play-by-play gets more exciting than the actual game. Like they're trying to inject into the game and bring some excitement to the game. But if the game is dragging on a little bit, ain't really much you can do. And it was, I forget the one girl that was doing all the behind-the-scenes stuff. She was talking to somebody getting ready for the second game and was talking about being an underdog. And I was like, how the hell are you going to be an underdog? And they ain't even played the first game of the year yet. So like silly stuff like that. And I'm giving it the arched eyebrow like, huh? But again, these are just my opinions and my little nitpicks. The presentation, the motion graphics, TNT, chef's kiss, bro. That's on point. And this is a personal thing with me. They do this in the WNBA, they do it in the NBA, they do it in the NFL, and I hate it. And they're doing it in Unrivaled. When the game is going on, I do not want to talk to a coach. I don't want to interview. I don't want to talk to players. I want to see the game. I don't want to split screen, nothing like that. That is just a personal beef with me. I hate when they do it. I don't care what sport. Baseball, I hate when football does it. Basketball, I hate when everybody does it. When the game is going on, I want to concentrate on the game. I hate when they do interviews because the player or the coach is not into the interview. They're watching the game. And it's a struggle for them to get their focus away from the game to answer a dumbass question. So I hate interviews while the game is going on. I wish they would stop it. Yeah. My other thing was, and this again, watching the flow of the game, unless you are an athletic big, this might not be the game for you. Now, obviously, it's going to get better as they get more accustomed to what they need to do and what not to do. But the bigs in the two games were struggling because, again, the pace was so quick. So maybe they'll get their cardio up and, as the season goes on. But if you are not an athletic big and you can't get up and down the court, you're going to struggle. It seems to me like the supreme shooters are going to take this league over. That's what I want to see. I want to see the shooters shoot. That last game, Kalia Copper and Arike Agumbawale were going at it, going back and forth. Got a little bit sloppy at times, but they were chucking up the shots. Ryan Howard got hot in that second game. Me personally, that's what I want to see. I want to see the shooters shoot because I thought it was interesting. Some of the same struggles that we complained about, or let me rephrase that, some of the same struggles that I complained about during the WNBA season, I'm seeing the same stuff in Unrivaled. Sloppy play, down low on the blocks, missing layups, missing bunnies, all of that kind of stuff. So that's stuff they're going to clean up. I guess my expectation was I wanted to see something a little bit different. I want to see Angel Reese be able to pull back to about 8 feet and pop a little mid-range jumper. I want to see that because I know I'm not going to see that in the W. So I was hoping I would be able to see that, but basically it's just more of the same, except you'll get two people that aren't on the court. So we'll see how that evolves as this season goes. The other thing was in that last game, there was a close call. Angel Reese had fouled somebody, but from my perspective, she had a good block, but I think she caught the girl in the face with the elbow. Not the face, but like around the ear, caught her in the head. And they reviewed it, and they stood on the foul. So Angel Reese got the foul, but I was like, where's the damn replay? That was a pivotal point. The Rose was trying to come back, and we couldn't see the replay. They never showed the replay. I didn't understand that, and it was a little bit frustrating. And then, of course, at the end of the day, the refs are still suspect. And it was both sides. It wasn't no home cooking or nothing like that. It was suspect on both ends of the court. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. But at the end of the day, the gameplay is going to get better. I know that. What I wanted to see was, could it keep my interest as somebody that wasn't interested in 3-on-3 basketball before? And I got to say, it did. It did. Next games that come on, I want to watch them. And I'm going to keep track of what I like, what I don't like, what they change, how they evolve. Because to me, that is what's going to keep my interest. I know eventually somebody's going to pop off and hit 7 threes in a row, or, Ryan Howard did what she did tonight. You're going to see more and more of that as people get comfortable with the game and how they're supposed to play and things of that nature. So I know the play is going to get there, but everything else, did it keep my interest? Yes, it did. Am I going to watch again? Yes, I am. So ultimately, that's a win for Unrivaled. So for the first game in the production and everything, the culmination of all of this hype and media attention and promotion and all of this stuff that happened, what, 2 years ago now? Longer, whenever it was. That's a good first night. That's a good first night. So I'll be having some more videos that talk more about the play and more about the game. But I just wanted to give my perspective, my opinions on the product of the Unrivaled League. I like it, and I'll be back.